Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I don't know where to go from there. My name is Becky Park and this is my very first YouTube video, so I'm so excited to be here with you today sharing my tips on how I made over $10,000 on the Poshmark app in my first year as a part-time reseller. So I wanted to share those tips with you today and
Won't nobody check those body cameras for your neck. All they really wanna do is go and cash the check. Won't nobody love you until you love yours. You could be swimming in money, but you're still.
So let's go right into our 10 tips. My first tip is start with the items in your own house. Don't go out and thrift, don't go out and spend a lot of money on inventory yet. Just get used to using the app and do that by going through your own closet, go through if you are married or living with someone, go through their closet. If you've got kids, go through their closets and just pull everything that you have and start listing the things that you already own. What that does is it allows you to start with very low risk. Typically, if you list your own items, you're not gonna list them too high, and a lot of people on Poshmark are essentially looking for really good deals. So if you have some items listed and they're not listed for too much, then chances of your first sale coming pretty quickly are really good, and you'll be able to get into the rhythm of how Poshmark works as an app. That's how I started. I started by listing my own items, my kids' items, my husband's items, and it was super exciting when we started making sales. And I still remember my very first sale. It was a pair of my husband's Toms, and they actually sold for a pretty good amount, and that's what got me hooked, and I kept going. And only when I started to kind of run out of things to sell of our own, that's when I started going thrifting for the first time. So definitely my first tip would be start with your own clothes that you have in your home. My second tip would be start with just one platform and stick to it. Although throughout the months as I started reselling, I did start dabbling in other platforms such as Amazon, FBA, and Mercari and whatnot, I spent probably the first half of a year primarily only on Poshmark, and I'm really thankful for that time because I got to learn the platform inside out. I got to learn about the different features that they had in regards to how to make better sales. I learned how to ship through Poshmark, and I feel like if I had tried to juggle doing both Poshmark and Mercari at the same time, I would have gotten really confused, or I just wouldn't have felt like I understood one platform really well. So I would recommend, it doesn't have to be Poshmark, that's what this video is about, but it doesn't have to be that. Whatever it is that you're gonna do, master the one first before you go on. And it's hard because there's a lot of people on social media talking about how they cross list and how they're active on a lot of different platforms and how that's important. And while I agree with them, I think that it's best to start by mastering just the one. So I personally recommend Poshmark because the shipping is really easy compared to things like eBay or Mercari, and Amazon is its own beast. But Poshmark was a really good gateway for me to get into that reselling world, and so that's what I would recommend. My next tip would be, and this kind of contradicts what a lot of other resellers will say, but carry a variety of items. A lot of resellers subscribe to the idea that you should curate your closet and you should have a specific buyer in mind. And I think that that is a really good idea, especially when you're really established, you have a lot of followers, and they know you for that specific type of item that you carry. But for me personally, especially when I was first starting out, I just carried everything. Like I carried a little bit of everything. And what that did for me was I had a lot of different people coming to my closet. And I had people putting together ridiculous bundles. Like some people, like honestly, actually just the other day, maybe it was yesterday, just yesterday, I had someone put together a bundle of a men's t-shirt with like bananas all over it and an H&M jacket for herself. So the t-shirt was for her husband, the jacket was for her, and if I didn't carry both men's and women's, or if I didn't want to carry silly graphic tees in my closet because I'm trying to, curate for an austere man or whatever, like I wouldn't have been able to make that bundle sale. So especially again, when you're first starting out, you just want to establish yourself. You want to get some love notes in your About Me section so people know that you're sending out good items and that you have good customer service. And at the beginning, you just can't really be picky, I feel like, with who your customer is going to be. So I personally would recommend carrying a variety of items, and as long as it's cute, as long as you know that somebody wants it, as long as the price point is there, I think it's okay not to curate your closet, especially at the very beginning. My next tip is do your research. When I first downloaded the Poshmark app, it was because I was looking for a way to sell some of my clothing for more than Plato's was going to give me. Plato's was offering me pennies, and I knew that my clothes were worth more. And so when I found Poshmark and saw, some of the reviews and whatnot, I still didn't know a lot about it. So I turned to YouTube, and I saw that there was a world out there of people who not only sold clothing online, but made a living doing it. And in watching various YouTube videos, I went down the rabbit hole and found thrift hauls, and that's where people are posting the different things that they purchase from thrift stores to resell online. I found what sold videos. Those are videos of people showing what items have sold in the past week or the past month. Just videos of different people putting up tips and tricks on how to be more successful. And I found a whole community. Instagram is another great place where people are posting pictures of things that have sold well for them. They're posting BOLO items. That's be on the lookout for these brands or these items. And by doing that, I learned a lot more than I would have been able to learn by myself through trial and error. And because that community is already there, go ahead and plug yourself in. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, get on Instagram. I started my own reselling Instagram. If you want to follow me, my handle is Becky Park on Poshmark. And the reason I did that was because I didn't think a lot of my, personal friends would care about my reselling journey, but there is this whole community of people who do. And so I've been able to, find a community online of people who are encouraging me and pushing me to succeed and to do more. And that has been instrumental in my success on Poshmark. These next few tips are things that I believe will help the algorithm work more in your favor. The first of which is you have to list consistently. Obviously, you have to list in general. Like if you don't have items up for sale on the Poshmark app, you're not going to sell anything. But a lot of people, they'll get into a good groove, they'll take a bunch of pictures, and they'll get a bunch of listings up at once, leave them alone, and that's it. And I think Poshmark, when you do that, they just kind of think, okay, well, this person's not really doing much, they're not active on the site. So I recommend trying to list at least one item a day. And if that means that you're taking a bunch of pictures and you've got, a backlog in your phone, but you're not putting them all up on one day and you're spreading it out throughout the course of that week or however long it takes you till you get to take pictures next, that's probably going to work more in your favor than posting them all at once and then not listing anymore for a while. So listing consistently is the first thing that you can do to increase your amount of activity on the Poshmark app and let them know that you're serious as a seller. My next tip is to grow your closet slowly. This is probably the only thing on the list that I personally did not do when I first started Poshmark and I first discovered Instagram and YouTube. All I wanted to do was go out and thrift. I was like, I don't have a lot of stuff in my closet. Everyone says you need this many items in your closet to make a lot of sales. And so all I wanted to do was go out and buy stuff. And the first time that I went, I actually still have in my closet one item from my very first thrift haul, and that's because I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to buy a lot of crap and put it in my closet, and that's exactly what I did, and no one wanted the crap that I was selling. So again, do your research and take time to find quality pieces that people actually want. Find things that are on trend, find things that are gonna bring in a good amount of profit for you. Don't feel the need to compare yourself to other people and be too overambitious. You just move at your own pace and build your closet slowly with items that work for you, make sense for you, and that you know are going to sell. The next tip is you have to share. You have to share your own closet. That's the most important thing. And at least you should be sharing your closet at least once a day. If you can get up to 2 or 3 closet shares, that's ideal. I know it's hard. I have like over 600 active listings right now. So to get through all of those listings and share them, it takes like anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. And I typically will have on like a YouTube video in the background or I'm watching a show. I mean, I'm not just sharing because that would be really boring, but it does take a time commitment, but that's the best way to get your items at the top of the search queue when people are searching for particular brands or particular styles of different kinds of clothing. And if you're not sharing, then your items are getting lost in the shuffle of everyone who's listing stuff on Poshmark. So make sure that you are sharing your closet first. Secondly, you also want to share other people's closets. And the reason for that, especially when you're first starting out, is when you're sharing your closet, if you don't have a lot of followers, your shares are only being seen by your followers. So if you have like 100 followers, that's 100 people whose newsfeed your items are showing up in, and they're not all paying attention to their feed at the same time. And yes, your items will shoot to the top of the search, but it's still not, you know, it's not being seen by a lot of eyes. When you share other people's closets, the hope is that they will come back to your closet and share your items as well. And if you are sharing items from people's closets who have a lot of followers, and if they share your items, then your items are being seen by a lot more people. And it also is just showing the Poshmark app again that you're being active and that you're an active part of the community. You're not just there for yourself, but you're also trying to help other people succeed, and you'll be rewarded for that. My next tip is to follow a lot of other Poshers. Just like you want people to come and follow you, that way you have more followers, they are more apt to follow you if maybe you have followed them first. So there are a lot of people out there who say they try to follow like 100 or 1,000 new closets a day. That's kind of crazy, but if you have the time for it, do it. And the hope is, because they see that you have followed their closet, they're gonna come back to yours, follow yours, and while they're in your closet, maybe they'll see an item or two that they like, and maybe you'll make a couple sales that way. But the best way to grow your following is to follow other people first. My next tip is to use the built-in features that Poshmark has already created to help you as the seller make more sales. You have to remember, Poshmark doesn't make any money unless we do. And so they have a lot of different tools and a lot of different sales and promotions that they run to help us as sellers. One of those that I utilize pretty often is called offers to likers, and that's when someone has liked your item, you can send them a private sale for that item with a discounted shipping offer. So for example, if somebody likes a pair of Gap jeans that I have in my closet, let's say my Gap jeans are $25, I can send everyone that has liked my item an offer, and it's not going to be seen by everyone on Poshmark, but just those people that have liked the item. I have to drop the price by at least 10%, so let's say I offer them the jeans for $22, and I'm also going to take $1.80 off the shipping. Everyone that has liked the item will get that notification saying that I'm doing the offers to likers, and hopefully someone will bite and I'll make a sale that way. Another feature that Poshmark has is called Closet Clear Out, and that's where it's a public sale in your own closet, and you select items that you're gonna drop the price for at least by 10%, and you don't have to offer a shipping discount. Poshmark will eat that cost for like the next 6 hours after you have dropped the price on your item. Another thing that Poshmark offers is the bundling feature, and that's where potential buyers can go in and they can put a few of items from your closet together in a bundle, and you can go in and send them a discounted offer on that whole bundle, and you can also throw in discounted or free shipping. You can also create bundles for people out of items that they have liked. So those are just 3 of the different ways that Poshmark has tried to help us as sellers make more sales, because again, the more money we make, the more money they make, because they take 20% at the very least of what sales we make. My very last tip would be, don't ever decline an offer. I get it. Sometimes people send insultingly low offers. Like I once had, it was like a dress or something that I had listed at $75, and I think they sent me a $5 offer. Like this woman had no shame. But I didn't decline. I sent back a somewhat petty counter offer of like $74 or something. But when you completely decline the offer, you're ending the conversation. When someone sends you an offer, they're saying I'm interested. And I have had situations where someone sends kind of a lowball offer, I come back with a counter offer, and we keep playing the dance, but we finally meet somewhere in the middle where both the buyer and I are happy. If you decline an offer, you're not even allowing for that chance to happen. I get it, sometimes it's really hard not to take those things personally, and we feel like they're attacking us on a personal level, but it's business, and you have to remember they're trying to get a good deal. That's what Poshmark is all about. You're trying to make a decent profit on the item, but you have to show a willingness to work with the other person. And by never declining an offer, I've definitely made more sales because I'm keeping that door open for the possibility of a sale happening. Thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video. My hope is to come on here at least once a week, and what you can expect to find from me here are things like thrift hauls, what sold videos, and a lot of tips and tricks to help you be successful on the Poshmark app. I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, press the like button on this video, and if you could even leave a comment about what kinds of things you want to see from me in the coming videos. That would help me kind of know what direction to take this channel in. You can also find me on Instagram. Again, my handle is Becky Park on Poshmark. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!